Well, Virginia Tech controls their own destiny, and they fully understand that. Everyone in that locker room has completely rebought in to the vision that interim head coach Philip Montgomery has assumed after the firing of Brent Pry. As we come to you here live on Kolby's Corner from Raleigh, North Carolina, inside the draws of Carter Finley Stadium, trying to find a stable Wi-Fi connection for everyone. But wow, what a game. There wasn't a lack of bulletin board material going in, and that was evident in talking to players after and just evident in the vibe. But it was almost inconceivable of an idea for an interim guy to step in with so much is made in the week. You have Michael Shorter, you have the situation with both Burgos and Giancom. So much going on. And to see just completely team effort win from individuals that were still bought in was pretty special. And obviously the post-game celebration, getting into that, they definitely lived up to that. But yeah, first off, I mean, what a job by Philip Montgomery. We can get into it. First one-score win for Virginia Tech since November 19, 2022, that Liberty game. And Philip Montgomery's second stint as head coach's second game. So it's almost inconceivable to come down here. Like, my prediction was 31-13. Obviously, right after the game, Isaiah Cash quote tweeted that and said, pretty much quiet the haters. Obviously, Montgomery and everyone did a really good job of. This week was very tumultuous with the portal entries, with all the news coming out of the locker room. You could have a lot of guys buy out. And instead, you go 3 hours down the road on a bus trip and you go handle business against a team that showed pretty firm against good competition. This is a team that beat UVA on the road. It's a team that it's 3-1. It was looking to shape up at the top of the conference. Arguably an All-American running back. And what a job by that defense to shut them down. Really just incredible. But, I think that comes back to the top. I think Philip Montgomery has done an amazing job of rallying the guys that are still here. And you saw some of that potential and maybe there was so much excitement going into the year with and that you saw on display tonight in Raleigh. But, yeah, first off, I think you got to start with the quarterback. Well, before you get to the quarterback position, how about Terrian Stewart? Welcome back, bully. The 85-yard run, career high, 174 yards, I believe. 15 carries for 174 yards. This is what people have been clamoring for. Obviously started off the year a little banged up, but this is why you go out. Elijah Brooks got his guy. So much has been made of the UVA running back situation, the situation at running back who you brought in, and this is the performance that you brought Terrian Stewart in for. A career high on the road in the ACC. That 85-yard run really bust things open. Kyron Drone said afterwards he gave him a hard time because he thought he scored, but him and Marcellus Hawkins got the ground game going, and it opened so much for Virginia Tech's offense that you hadn't seen pretty much all year long. Save Wofford, and even against Wofford, it was mostly check down, swing passes out of the backfield. But for those guys to open up the playbook and really just get big holes and gaps and make guys miss too. Like, that offensive line obviously was patchwork. You understood you had a young guy in Aiden Lynch there, and you saw him take his licks, a couple holding penalties, false starts, but still to rally behind those guys and be able to establish the run, maybe not as early and often as a lot of people wanted, but when it counted to get that job done, hats off. I thought it was a really great game plan called by Montgomery, obviously stepping up and assuming even more roles as the head coach. Next, I think you have to go to the quarterback position. Talked with Kyron after. Obviously, he's understood. He's heard a lot of the narrative out there. A lot falls on your shoulders when you lose and you're the quarterback. And he understands that his play was not up to the standard there for a while. And for him to come out and operate like he did, I thought it was a pretty special performance. 20-34, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. And honestly, I think the 2 biggest plays were maybe the most hospital or heart palpitation inducing for any fundamental quarterback coach or offensive coordinator to get to the next level. Rolling to your left, you look back completely across the field off your back foot and you let one go to Isaiah Spencer, and he's just left all alone. Oh, what a big play. I mean, that ball probably traveled 30, 40 yards in the air on itself, led to a big play for Virginia Tech. And then the next one, obviously, pressure comes rolling to his right and just heaves one up to Benji in single coverage. Now, maybe Benji gets a little push off there, doesn't matter, and makes a massive play. Drones called him his safety valve there at the end, but coming up with that play, just such a big get for that offense. I thought he was timely in his throws, even dealing with a couple drops. Donovan Green had the one drop for the touchdown, just stayed consistent. I thought he was able to work off his run game, and that opened up some alleys in the passing lane. I thought Cam Seldon had a nice game. I thought Isaiah Spencer had a nice game. I know Aiden Green had that one ball. He probably wants back. It was good contended, but I thought he had a really nice game. Obviously, Benji Gosnell spread the ball around. He had 7 receivers in the first half. I thought a really, really nice job to parlay that from Wofford into this game against NC State in an environment that was ruckus at nighttime with the LED lights sold out. This team had everything from their 3-1, their crowds here, and Virginia Tech to come in and silence that. What an impressive win from Philip Montgomery and his group. I don't know if you could say enough about it. Really, really impressive for everyone to stay bought in. Now, shifting over to the defensive side of the ball, I thought they also had a really, really good plan of attack. What did they have? 5 sacks in the first half, most sacks on the season. I mean, what a game. Let's start with the linebacker position. Caleb Spencer, in his second start, so much is made of, obviously, Woodson sitting out, a little banged up. Short enters the portal. For Caleb Spencer to step up and earn the start, career high 11 tackles, tackle for loss, flying all around the field. And you saw that, man. Through spring camp, this is someone I highlighted, and this is before you bring in the transfer guys when Cephas comes in and they want more bodies there. But what a showing from Caleb Spencer. You've seen bits and pieces of it last year, and then obviously he made the transition inside. But what a game at linebacker position. An Achilles heel for the whole Brett Pride tenure, an Achilles heel for this defense over the last 5 to 7 years, maybe save Dax Hollifield. What a just absolute showing, I think, against a pretty good NC State offense, at least what it seems. You got a really good, at least all ACC caliber running back. You got a quarterback who's been really efficient all year and snuffed out a lot of big plays. And then at that linebacker position, how about the true freshman Noah Chambers? I know a lot was made against Wofford last game when he didn't see the field at all. I know there was stuff going on behind the scenes when he didn't see the field at all last game. And for him to come out with all of that, with everything going on off the field, and like I said, this review is really pretty amazing that we're only going to be talking about on the field stuff because that's what they dominated and they deserve that. But for him to come out in his collegiate debut, he had on his first 3 plays in the game, 3 tackles, finishes with 6 tackles and a sack in his collegiate debut. I mean, he looked so comfortable through fall camp. Obviously, this is a guy who came in from DeMatha Catholic, could only come in and enroll over the summer, just body type wise. This is a guy who was born to play linebacker, absolute physical, aggressive force. And what we saw, you can go back to the catalog of Kolby's Corners. This is someone who popped immediately in fall camp. Someone who was, realistically, I thought you were going to have to burn a shirt anyway, let alone when Michael Short enters the portal, let alone when you have some other indecision there at the linebacker position. And someone who I think has 100% just tonight and what he's done on the practice field earned more reps at that linebacker position. Been beating the drum for him. And, wow, did he come out and have such a great debut. It'll be interesting to see his snap count. But still, I mean, on those first 3 plays to put his nose in there, get 3 tackles, big-time sack, just all around the football. And I think a lot of true freshmen echoed that. I thought Sheldon Robinson had a really, really nice game back there at safety. JoJo Krim, maybe. There was a couple plays where he was rock solid, and maybe a couple more where he showed that true freshman inexperience. But overall, I think the secondary had a nice game, saved a couple big plays. You talk about Christian Ellis there at the end, Isaiah Cash, a couple big breakups. Those transfer guys that you maybe were asking a little bit more from, for them to come out and have that game. And then I thought the pressure inside, like I said, going back to those sacks, he had 5 sacks. Obviously, we said Chambers had the one, Ben Bell had the other, Jason Abbey and Elijah Fall. When you talk about both those guys, Burgos and Joncom leaving, it opened up opportunities for other guys to step in. You have a Jason Abbey come in and take that. Elijah Fall earned the start at edge. The Georgia Southern transfer, he earns a sack. I thought they got good pressure, and I think Cephas had a pretty good scheme overall. So really just hats off. And then you want to go to special teams. I thought Velsistis had a couple really timely punts there. Maybe even had one that landed just like a foot on the goal line and spun back. Could have got a little unlucky. But how about the job of John Love? 3 big-time kicks, and let alone the one where, it's a delay of game, and John said that was on him. That's when we talked to Montgomery after the game, and John said it was on him, and then just steps up and drills it again. What a feeling for an offensive team to be able to rally behind a kicker like that and have full, complete confidence in him. But I think that confidence is echoed and trickles down from that interim head coach. And what a job. You can tell the locker room is fully behind him, the guys that are still there. I don't think you can say enough about this win because, you see how the schedule shapes up. And I know it's 1 week at a time, but this could have got pretty daunting pretty fast. And I know there's still a lot going on off the field. Obviously, as you're walking down the hallway, you're still seeing a lot of personnel. You're seeing different administrative people walking down the hall. And, you catch eyes with them, and it's like, okay, good win, but we know there's other things coming as well. So this isn't to take away anything from that, and they should celebrate this win. And it's a completely massive win for the team, the program, Coach Montgomery, and all the guys there, because they deserve that. But obviously, there's still a lot on the board moving forward, but not going to really get touched on tonight. So make sure to drop some comments in the chat. Try and touch on some of those here in a little bit. But yeah, I think those were most of the big key points. What a job by that defense, especially that linebacker core that had been below par for quite a while. Snook Peterkin, other true freshman wide receiver when you're thinking about it. He had that one big play down the sideline. Obviously, it was pushed out of bounds, but I thought it was good that he rolled out there. All right, let's go through some chat. Stewart and Hawkins a great tandem. Yeah, I think honestly maybe they didn't even lean into that tandem enough there early in the game. Like Drones had, I forget how many passing attempts in the first half, but like I know obviously running the live chat over on v2scoop.com, it's the best place to be for game days. In that live chat, the update throughout the game, you'll see it's always entertaining. So definitely make sure you go check that out. But yeah, I thought that tandem together opened up a lot, and in the passing game especially takes a lot of pressure off Kyron, let alone what he can do with his legs. And they showed it tonight. I know Taryn had been banged up. People have been wondering when he was going to be back, wondering what else was maybe potentially for him, and for him to come out there and have the performance he did. And we talked to Marcellus after, and he's nothing but more supportive than Stewart. Obviously caught the touchdown from Drones on that one play. And I think that play specifically was really nice by Drones to, when you saw all the issues against the South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and the ODU of taking pressure and not being able to find that quick guy, to know they're coming with zero or cover zero, and they're going to bring guys. They have less blockers and guys coming, and to get that ball out quick to Hawkins, quick touchdown pass, that's something you maybe didn't see in those first 3 games. So great call by Montgomery, and honestly just a great read by Kyron to get that ball out. But yeah, Ellis was great. Yeah, I talked to him after. Christian Ellis was obviously a little bit banged up last week at Wofford. Someone who's seen a lot of college football out there in New Mexico and other stops. It's just seen a lot of college football, and it's sort of been waiting for his moment in maroon and orange. And I think he had a couple big-time plays there. A veteran presence who gives you a lot of different looks. But, yeah, a very, very timely play tonight. Someone who's still bought in. I know, when guys get banged up and all this stuff's going on, are they here for the long haul? What other options do they have? And that's why it's hard to not disseminate all the situations. And we're only clued into so much. And, obviously all these things are getting watched and ridiculed, and obviously they're on the bus ride now and whatever. But I think what a great play, great day by Christian Ellis, and that a lot of these injuries and things going on right now, maybe don't jump to conclusions on certain guys, because he bounced back. And I know there were a lot of questions last week, obviously with him not playing, but it was a little injury. So for him to come out here, really, really big game. Didn't get to watch too much, but what really changed with the cornerbacks, they were getting torched, but seems much more solid now. Yeah, I think a lot of that is just personnel. You had your starting guys, Thomas Williams and Isaiah Brown-Murray. Obviously, Caleb Brown's banged up. Doesn't look like he's going to be back really anytime soon. Obviously, Dante Lovett to the portal. And Thomas Williams is a guy that you heard all summer, obviously through the first couple games, maybe left a little bit on the table for what you were wanting. But for him to come out here, obviously a speedster, I thought he had a really nice game. Isaiah Brown-Murray, I thought was pretty solid in coverage overall. He took some licks throughout the year, but those guys I think have stepped up. And then those young guys. How about Knowledge Harrell? How about Jamari DeLoach and JoJo Krim seeing action? I've been beating the drum for those guys. Noah Chambers, really a lot of these true freshman guys. And I think that's going to be so big. I know Philip Montgomery got that big win tonight. And, whatever happens, give him a fair interview process, just like every single head coach. But, whatever happens, there's most likely going to be a new guy coming in here. And there's still a very solid core, that class of 24 and 25 guys. And if you keep some of those DBs and you keep a guy like Noah Chambers and Sheldon Robinson, you keep some of those offensive linemen, there is a very, very talented core on this team It's just maybe they're not at the timing where they can display it. And they just beat a really talented team, so they can put it all together. It's just unfortunate. Obviously, the season started the way it did, so it doesn't always come down to talent. Obviously, there's a lot of factors at play in this whole deal, but it's not something where you want to blow the whole thing up and run these guys off the lot, because there is still a lot of talent on this team. And I think the coach coming in will recognize that, and this is so valuable for them to see that, of what personnel they have and what they can build on. Because I thought they had a really, really nice game, and they're going to have to show it for the rest of the year, because it doesn't get any easier from here. You got Miami and FSU at Louisville. It's not going to slow down anytime soon. So definitely something to watch on. But yeah, I mean, what a lift just for the entire program. When all it is, when I just come on here and obviously gets pushed in front, everyone, all the talking heads, anyone you can look to, these guys obviously see it. They understand the game. You know, it's a performance-based deal, and that's what it comes down to. And they understand the standard wasn't there, but still, it's not easy when everyone locally, nationally is harping on you, getting on you. So what a win to come out and sort of silence me, silence everyone, and just execute really at a high level, which you haven't seen much over the last 3.5 years. To go win on the road in conference play, and let alone in a one-score game. Really, really amazing when you think about what's been going on over the last couple of years. Seeing Coach Montgomery dance in the locker room, seeing everyone engaged, you know, in such a week of tumultuousness, it'd be so easy to just go out there and play for yourself, for your future, and to see everyone engage in the locker room after with a guy. It really isn't, like I keep emphasizing it, but it really is insane to see a group of men come together and get behind someone on such short, crazy notice in this era. And I'm not saying this is a Brent Key situation at Georgia Tech, not at all. And I don't think it will be, but still, I think it's pretty special in an age of college football where it seems so personal driven and personally invested to see a team win like that. And I think it was all across all three phases, across all the coaching staff. And obviously they've done a really good job of pinning it on it's us against the world. And I think they wouldn't do anything else. But obviously, you know, those guys are playing with a chip on their shoulders. They obviously have a message to everyone talking about them, and it showed up tonight. So it was really big. I think a good win for the fan base and everyone to get behind. Saw some positive things from young guys. Saw some things that you maybe wanted to see from them, some of those older guys maybe to start the year, and a pretty tough environment to play. First true road trip of the year, and I think they handled the test. So now you go back home for homecoming against a Wake Forest team that took Georgia Tech down to the wire. So, you know, it's shaping up that team does. I mean, Damon Claiborne's a really good running back on that team. You just faced a really good running back, and you liked your odds, and that was on the road. So I think this team's going to have a lot of confidence, but it's still going to be that same message from Phil Montgomery. Hey, look, we've proven nothing. We have nothing. Everyone still has counted us out. So big win for a lot of these seniors especially. But, yeah, let's get through some of these questions, and we'll sign out of here. Going to head back to Blacksburg here in the wee hours of Sunday. Happy Sunday, everyone. Almost 3 years at one-score win. Yeah, when you think you go all the way back to Liberty. Had some people like in that tweet that maybe people would be surprised about when I dropped that right after. Obviously, so much was made of Brent Pryde's one-score record. And for Montgomery, that's why I think it's just so incredible, because the margins are so thin at this level. And to come execute and hit across all three phases, like I said, is really special. So they'll move on to Wake, but definitely going to enjoy this one. Saw a lot of leadership from guys, Benji, Aiden Green, obviously Terrence Stewart, Marcellus Hawkins stepping up, Kyron Jones. But what a job. Just what a job. Can't say enough about it. Phil Montgomery earns his first ACC win as interim head coach, and Virginia Tech is 1-0 in conference play. Appreciate everyone jumping in here on Kolby's Corner. Looking forward to doing these. We'll have another one for you Monday night at 8:30, then Wednesday at 8:30, and after the game. So in that cadence, it's been a ton of fun. For a lot of insight, I'm going to obviously be driving for the next 3 hours, but I think it's going to be hard to sleep tonight. So going to be over on vtscoop.com. I know we just talked about everything on the field. Obviously, there is a ton looming off the field this upcoming week with September 30th, the Board of Visitors meeting. Obviously, the transfer portal is still open. Guys still making decisions on that. Obviously, some guys didn't make the trip down here to Raleigh, which is telling. Make sure to go get that membership over at vtscoop.com. It's really the best place for the info if you want to be in the know on Virginia Tech and the future of Virginia Tech football. Appreciate all the support, guys. And when I say that, I don't mean it cheap. I feel like the luckiest person ever to get to do this. So I appreciate all the support. everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you got to enjoy some other college football games. Have a safe weekend. Spend some quality time with people around you. And yeah, have a good night. We'll see you Monday night at 8:30, and God bless. Appreciate it, everyone. See you.